Happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome back to my channel, Straight Out of Context. Copyright disclaimer. Under the Copyright Act of 1976, I am within my full legal right to share these following clips via video and audio. The following creators allow reshare, redistribution, and download of their content, and as always, I credit them in the description box. Fair use, public domain, TikTok third-party license, and TikTok Live automatic third-party license for the use of commentary, reaction, teaching, news reporting, research, comment, and criticism. I am legally within my basic human right, my civil right, and my constitutional right to share, under the First Amendment to the Constitution, my expressions, my views, my thoughts, opinions, feelings, and my critiques. The First Amendment to the U.S. Constitution guarantees my freedom of religion, freedom to exercise of, freedom of speech, freedom of the press, free assembly, and the right to petition the government. The First Amendment to the U.S. Constitution does not cover lies that amount to defamation, slander, libel, harassment, stalking, cyberbullying, threats, doxing, or other verbal crimes.
This is probably going to be just as expensive of getting my hair done at the salon, but I don't care.
Okay, everybody already knows about the Gypsy Rose and salon-centric controversy and the investigation happening because she posted this, a video of her going into a licensed, professional-only salon-centric and purchasing almost $400 worth of items. But Gypsy also deflects and projects and Darvos content creators and the entire world, her fans, her friends, and her supporters by saying, okay, I didn't read it. Shit, y'all act like y'all fucking perfect and never made a mistake in y'all life with y'all damn glass houses. The fuck? So now she's a hood rat. She went from being a bougie Cali Valley girl to now being a hood rat. Okay, so I covered these in another video. However, she has made 3 more comments since then that I have not. And this one she says, if it makes anyone feel better, I actually wanted to go to school for a license. I looked into schools around the area because I love hair. You love hair, except for your own, because you keep mistreating and abusing it. About the woman who sold her products without a license, losing her job, Gypsy says, I feel for her, I do. All I did was state what happened and answered your question. What happens after that is out of my hands. She also says, well, I am not the one who made these videos and made a big stink about it. That employee would not have been in trouble if creators minded their own business. Just saying. That is a lie because she is the one who posted it to her new family vlogging YouTube channel. She also claims she didn't see the giant blue and white sign right on the door, that she saw a sign that said enter at the store, but I Googled where to buy Redken toner and salon-centric popped up, so I went without much thought to it. I thought that it was no different than Sally's. Oh, she knew. She definitely knew. Oh, she definitely knew, and she just doesn't give a fuck. She doesn't care. She doesn't care about anybody else other than her temporary satisfaction and gratification. She's seen something cute, and she wanted it for herself. Never mind the fact that those chemicals are controlled because you can get a severe chemical burn, and the fumes can be very toxic. A lot of those products are ingredients that can be used to make explosives, so the fumes are very toxic to little ones. In less than 30 days, Gypsy spent over $400 on a rear-facing car seat and stroller duo, which she already has both of, and almost $400 at a salon-centric. That's almost $800 she did not need to spend, just to be happy and proud of her hair until the next day when she wasn't. And like I showed you in the beginning of the video, she says, I'm probably going to spend just as much, if not more, than it would cost me to go to the salon, but I don't care. Then she posts how much she botched it and how she's going to have to go back to brown to fix it. And then she says, from now on, I'm only going to go to a salon. So she doesn't go brown to fix it. She literally spends the extra money to go to a salon to get it fixed. What? And then you see this. Gypsy is trying to prove that her hair is healthy or that she thinks Olaplex is enough to actually fix and make damaged hair healthy again. Just check it out and take a look. This is all under a week.
Did y'all see that Gypsy went back to brown? And then she's sitting here trying to prove that her hair is not damaged. Y'all roll it, roll it, roll it. Here we go. Y'all look at that fried piece of shit. Look at it. Bitch, your hair's supposed to move. Girl, if your hair wasn't fried and damaged, it would do this. You see that movement? Bitch, yours ain't moving. It's coming in chunks. Not her hair literally going in chunks. Girl, your hair is fried. Leave it alone. Just leave it alone. You look silly out here acting like that. Stop, Gypsy. Am I taking a little morning walk here? Yes, I am. I mean, it ain't far. Just go back and forth in front of the office. But, girl, you literally made me come up out my desk to do this. You best be glad we ain't busy. Or maybe you wish I was busy. Because then I wouldn't have had time to make this video so quick. Y'all. I can't even with her. Y'all go back and watch it. Drop your comments below. I mean, it's so fried. It looks like fried chicken I've overcooked by like an hour and a half. Happy Wednesday. Bye, y'all.
Gypsy's still out here pretending to be a cosmetologist. She also says Olaplex number 4, 5, and 6 are a lifesaver. Heart emoji. Okay, 4, 5, and 6. That's an average of $130 more. Plus, going to the salon to get it fixed, I'd say probably about $250. So she's averaging over an average of $1,200 to $1,300 in the last 30 days that she did not need to spend just to ruin her hair again. But the best part is the comments. People keep leaving her comments every time they are on, leaving the text messages between her and Nick, the FOIA, her friends and associates and family members, bullying other content creators, pictures of others that have the same micro deletion as Gypsy. And I'm sorry, Gypsy, but you look like crap as a blonde. I'm sorry. Dark hair is just your natural color, and you can tell it looks good on you. You need to stop trying to go blonde all the time. It just doesn't look good on you. I don't look good as a blonde either. But I know that. Somebody needs to say it because not everybody recognizes when it's just not fitting to their face, their eye color, their features. Sometimes people with a more olive complexion, it just doesn't look good. It's one thing to have a wig or synthetic hair or something like that that is not permanent. But this woman is literally bleaching her hair probably more than 25 times, I would say, in the past year and a half. And you can go back and look. That is how many times she has bleached her hair blonde and gone back to brown, and bleached her hair blonde and gone back to brown. She has done that almost twice every month since being released. They say don't beat a dead horse, but they also say that you cannot fix stupid.
If you're a new follower of mine, please check out our YouTube channel, Gypsy and Ken, Magic in the Chaos. Our channel primarily focuses on the new experiences that we face as new parents, navigating a both public and private life. You can follow us at Magic in the Chaos on YouTube. Like, share, and subscribe today.
She's still promoting her family vlogging channel, and she just posted this new video. Come toy shopping with me, not an pad. She means not an iPad, but you just hate me because you aunt me. She also posts that she's going to be off parole in 2 weeks and that she cannot wait to hang out with her friends, Sheena and Bree. So that way they can go to New Orleans and have a big blowout and not baby shit on your arm or needing to spend $400 at a salon type of blowout. Gypsy is already planning huge party, bar, and drunk. Bet. Watch what happens.
I just have a quick little response to Gypsy's little comment here, since she's so concerned about the rest of the world all of a sudden. I just want to name one specific thing in the world that is problematic to me, and probably a lot of others too. The fact that Nicholas Godejohn is in jail for the rest of his life, and you're not, Gypsy. Think about that problem that's going on in the world right now.
Okay, so let me make sure I heard you correctly. A problem you think we're facing in the world today is Nicholas Godejohn being in prison for the rest of his life. A man who straddled a woman and brutally murdered her.
Yeah, he was solicited, and some can even say hired, since she sent him over $800. First-degree premeditated murder in the state of Missouri is anybody over the age of 18 who knowingly causes the death of another person after deliberation upon the matter. Who did the act doesn't matter. The person that planned it is the person who is the most guilty and the most culpable. Hiring or soliciting somebody to do the act for you, is still your first-degree premeditated murder.
You think that's problematic, that he's still in prison? Okay. You're detached from reality. I'm going to try to help reel you back in, okay?
She wants you to believe that what he said is something other than what he really said. The fact that Nicholas Godejohn is in jail for the rest of his life, and you are not, Gypsy. People that are capable of manipulating a man with mental disability, with autism, people that are capable of trying to kill their mother twice before and then finally soliciting somebody else to do it. Yes, we have a huge judicial problem when we are letting heinous murderers out on the street. They should be locked up for life. Everything else doesn't matter because her life was not in imminent and immediate danger at that moment. So self-defense, by the very legal definition and standard, would never have worked for Gypsy because she was not in imminent and immediate danger. Yes, we have a huge problem, a huge justice problem, when somebody like Gypsy Rose Blanchard gets slapped on the wrist for 8.5 years, despite all the forensic and circumstantial evidence, despite everything that was told by her and by Nicholas Godejohn when they were caught, and she be given a sweetheart plea deal, knowing good damn and well the state of Missouri in 2024 put Marcellus Williams to death. They executed a man based on weak circumstantial evidence at best because he's African American. And guess who is not? Gypsy Rose Blanchard is not. She's a 4'11", 130-pound white female with a squeaky voice that sounds like she's 12. And I do not give a damn who agrees with me or who does not, because that is the truth. On December 28th of 2023, they let Gypsy out. 9 months later, in September of 2024, they executed Marcellus Williams, despite forensic evidence exculpating and exonerating him. This is a perfect example of how our justice system can get it so wrong. And I'm not even going to get into it, but that's exactly why you see so many white people get away with crimes. And yes, racial disparities do exist in the criminal justice system of the United States of America. Putting a man to death with very weak circumstantial evidence at best and a ton of forensic evidence that actually exonerated him, but yet all of the forensic and circumstantial evidence, including the confessions of Gypsy Rose Blanchard, proved beyond a reasonable doubt that she was guilty. She is guilty. She is a convicted murderer. Receiving a sweetheart plea deal did nothing but incentivize her to lie. She failed to participate in mental health services. She failed to prove that she was remorseful, that she was reformed, that she was rehabilitated, and she still continuously lies, especially in regards to Nick, when she should hail him a hero. If so many people failed Gypsy for 24 years and he's the only person who didn't, he also is the only person that sat there and told the truth from the very beginning and never spoke a lie. He should have been the one incentivized with a good plea deal for his cooperation. But the only thing more privileged than a white male is a white female, because it wasn't Gypsy that was executed, and that's the two punishments for first-degree premeditated murder, and that is exactly what she did. By definition, by law, and by legal definition. And first-degree premeditated murder only carries 2 sentences, either life in prison without the possibility of parole or capital punishment. I've showed the Missouri statute many times in my videos before.
Okay, so here's just a really short list of problems that we're facing in the world today that might be a little bit more problematic than Nicholas Godejohn being in prison for the rest of his life. Climate change, water scarcity, food insecurity, pollution, misinformation and disinformation, systemic racism, violence against women and girls, pew-pew violence, LGBTQ plus discrimination, child exploitation, labor exploitation, corruption, online bullying and harassment. So yeah, there's just a short list of things that I think, anyway, in my opinion, are a bit more of a problem than Nicholas Godejohn being in prison for the rest of his life.
Well, I certainly agree with her list, especially with the racism, the cyberbullying, the doxing, the harassing, labor laws, Son of Sam laws, all of it. But that's not what he said. What he said was that Nicholas Godejohn is in prison for the rest of his life and Gypsy is not, when Gypsy should be. And there is a lot of people on social media, including a district judge, including a retired FBI agent, who literally shared that same opinion that she should have been locked up for life. She did not earn, nor did she deserve a sweetheart plea deal. That was brokered for her between two buddies to benefit each other and to wash their hands of her.
Come back to reality.
That's my opinion, as well as many other people's opinions, but that's okay because Gypsy Rose Blanchard has showed everybody in the world exactly who and what she really is. Her lies, her actions, her words, her choices, and behaviors have showed everybody everything they need to know. That's why she's not truly an advocate, because she got the best of prison reform. That's also why she doesn't advocate for other people, especially people of color and minorities.
Donald Trump's very, very unorthodox in the way that he does things. Are you open to meeting with him to discuss prison reform, especially for people who have been in your kind of situation? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, of course I would be open to it.
Would you'd sit with him?
Of course I would.
Oh, great.
I think I would have a lot to talk to him about.
What would you say to him? Like, what would be your main point? To drive home.
Kind of where the first ones to get
my main thing would be that there needs to be better advocacy for mental health problems while in prisons. I feel like too often the state just kind of chucks them in prison and doesn't take any...
Was there access for you, though, for mental health? Like,
the access for me was they rated me on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being the best, and they told me that I didn't qualify for one-on-one therapy.
No, in prison, really?
Despite my past trauma. So I think there actually needs to be more trauma therapy, more therapy for individuals instead of just chucking them in a prison and forgetting about them. They could be reformed, they could be rehabilitated if just given the chance.
Yeah.
What is with this fucking bitch mom shaming all the time? Like, not an iPad. Who gives a fuck if someone wants to give their kid an iPad? Like, you had your mother killed. Like, who are you to fucking judge? I'm already having a bad day, and then we got this fucking bitch. She thinks she's so fucking hot. Like, you are so ugly inside and out.
So who believes that Gypsy is going to take care of Aurora the same way her mother took care of her when she's ill and has all these issues? No way in hell. I think she'll continue to hide that there's even an issue or a chromosome deletion to begin with. No way could she do what her mother did for her and then turn around and skill her because it was all her mom's fault that Gypsy didn't have a life because she was a sick little girl. It'll be interesting to see. Tell you what.
And she has the nerve to tell other people what they should and should not do as far as parenting goes, like she's the expert. When you successfully raise 5 kids into their 20s all on your own and have Child Protective Services give you 2 twins 2 different times in their life, and they all end up good, decent human beings, then you can say later that, hey, yeah, I ended up a good mom. But not when you have an only 5-month-old baby that you're already exploiting on a family vlogging channel.
Anyone else think that Gypsy did what she did, having Nick take the blame because she wasn't willing to give him the actual deed? She'll let him take the blame and think he did it, but she wasn't willing to give him the satisfaction of her mother seeing his face as the last face she sees in this world. It was going to be Gypsy's. She made that a point. She's twisted. She's demented. She is sadistic. And this is just the beginning with this girl. Wait until she is off parole. Things are just going to keep getting more and more interesting. And now her and Ken are trolling little kids too. Whew. Yeah, but think about it. She let Nick take the blame, but she was not gonna let her mother think she didn't do it herself personally. She had so much rage because that woman told her, no, you cannot have a family. It's not in the cards. you have a chromosome deletion, and the odds of you having another just like you, or even worse, are real great. And because she was slow, I believe, mentally, physically, everything, her mother knew she couldn't take care of a child. So she had rage built up for years against this woman who did nothing but help her and give her the best life she possibly could. Even though most of it was scamming, she still did everything she could for this woman. And what does she do in return? I heard before somebody said that she told Christy she antagonized her, beat her, antagonized her in her final hours, along with Nick. I think it was just Gypsy and Dave Blanchard. I think if anyone was there, it was Dave Blanchard. Otherwise, why would he be lying about crawling through that window or anything? Why would he refuse to recognize Dee Dee in her bed? He was buying time. And, well, speaking of buying time, hopefully Gypsy doesn't have much time left. Hopefully she's going to mess up right after parole, like we all know. And bye, girl. Bye.
I mean, really, come on. Gypsy really has to have a sign to tell her the basics of how to take care of her own baby. She has zero maternal instinct. She has to learn it from YouTube, from TV, from sitcoms. And what's even crazier is that she doesn't even know how to basically spell iPad. She wants to pass judgment on other mothers and act like she's superior to everybody else, but she can't even spell iPad. What is not ANPAD? She has no PR agent, assistant, manager helping her to proofread and edit any of this stuff before she posts it to millions of people. And on a more serious note, a content creator that goes by the name Ivory Rose Knows posted a public safety announcement, and everybody has been sharing it on TikTok. Apparently, she had her home broken into while her and her children were inside her home asleep. Now, hopefully, they find out who did this, but she is asking for those points down below. If anybody has any information, to please turn it over. And if you are devout to God like I am, I really urge you and beseech you to pray. Pray for Ivory Rose Knows, her children, her family, and pray that they find out who is responsible and that they are able to do something about this, because this should happen to nobody, ever. Now, this next video I am sharing because it is relevant to my entire video in context. This woman explains, after she had been incarcerated for 10 years, how women manipulate men, aka pen pals, which are really sugar daddies, while they are incarcerated in prison. Now, Gypsy Rose Blanchard did serve 8.5 years in prison, where she was mostly in Chillicothe Correctional Facility for women. Now, she also says that the entire duration of her 8.5 years, her father had to give her an average of $200 a month. But this is also how she met not only Ken, but Ryan Anderson, who was giving her money from 2022 onward because he married her. Take a good listen and let me know what you think down in the comment section.
Selling sugar daddies in prison, selling pen pals, because they don't like to be called sugar daddies. They're pen pals, but they're sugar daddies for the record. Let's be real. Yeah, it's a whole business. It's a whole ass business. So in a female prison, so say it's like myself and Sarah, okay? So say I have a sugar daddy, a pen pal. Girls will get put on these sites by their friends, by their family members, by somebody on the outs. And when they get put on this site, you know, they'll write, they'll buy letters, they'll pay people for letters, they'll fish, they'll throw letters, hundreds of letters out there until they get somebody to bite. When they get somebody to bite, they try to, there's like a whole process. There's a grooming process. They never want money. They never want you for anything. But eventually, they're going to fall in love with you. You're going to fall in love with them. You're the greatest thing that happened. They're going to make sure you're connected with their family. They're going to have their mom and their kid calling you so you feel like you're really in there. They're going to make it seem like every day on the phone talking to you is like the only thing that is the most important part of the day and the only reason that they live. They're going to make sure you know that they don't have any financial support. And then all of a sudden, one day they're going to have an emergency. And it's going to be a little one like, hey, oh my God, someone stole my shoes. Can you send me $100? I have to buy some shoes, off the compound. And then you're probably going to do it because you love her and you want to save the day. She doesn't have any other support, and she's stroked your ego, love bombed you, and sucked you in major. So when that happens, then it's just going to be another emergency, and then it's just going to be like, well, you need things every week. You need hygiene. Everybody needs hygiene. So once all that happens, you're going to get into this cycle, and if you try to break it or get out, or that week you can't do it, then eventually they're just going to get really pissed off, and they're going to yank that love away, and you're going to be like fiending for it, and you're going to be like, and then you're going to get scared, and you're going to keep on doing it. You're going to find a way to get that shit done. Now, when it's time for the girl to go home, because that is a good pen pal sugar daddy, because he's a good one, then that girl knows she has zero intention of talking to him ever again. So she's going to sell him to Sarah. So say I'm the one going home. So I will tell Sarah, hey, Sarah, I will sell you Bob for $200. So because I'm about to go home. Like $200 will get me through the next 2 weeks and that's it. I don't need a lot, right? Or whatever. So I'll be like, hey, so what'll happen is I will start talking. Usually it's not like 2 weeks, for the record. It's usually like the girl that's going to go home is going to sell her sugar daddy about a month before she goes home. So, because you need a little time for this to happen. So she will start saying, oh, hey, babe, Sarah, Sarah did this for me. Oh, Sarah's such a good person. Oh my gosh, Sarah doesn't have any family. I wish you could meet Sarah. You're just going to love her. When she gets out, you're going to meet her. You're going to love her. You're just going to start really putting Sarah in the game. And then what's going to happen is one day, Sarah is going to get your information because she's going to contact you so that when I get out, she can contact you and she can talk to me on the phone because you and I are going to be together out there. So one day, Sarah is going to call and say, hey, I just wanted to call and make sure that this is the number and say, hi, Jen said you were so great and everything. I can't wait till you pick her up so that, you guys can have a great life and get married and ride off into the sunset. And just know that I'll be calling you to talk to her. And Bob's like, okay, cool, whatever. Well, I get out. I never talk to Bob again. I don't see Bob. I don't even tell him the right day I'm getting out so that he can't show up there. Now, what's going to happen is a couple days later, Sarah's going to call and she's going to be like, hey, Bob, can I talk to Jen? And Bob's going to be like, Jen, she bailed. I don't know what happened. I'm worried. She used me, or I'm worried, or whatever. And that's when Sarah's going to be like, and she's going to turn on me and she's going to be like, I cannot believe that she did that. You're such a good guy. I can't believe it. And then eventually it's going to be, well, Jen only existed for us to find each other. Like she was the path for us to find each other because we're the true love. And now you just got sold, and then you'll get sold to somebody else when Sarah goes home.
Gypsy also posted this, bragging that she is going to be off of parole in 2 weeks.
Gypsy's coming to warn all of us, y'all. Watch this shit. And then I'm going to commentate on it. So just... Y'all see what that shit said? The audacity of sitting there bragging that you're about to be off parole. Can y'all imagine? Again, embarrassing as hell for one thing, okay? Embarrassing. Secondly, bitch, who you trying to threaten? Low-key, in my opinion, allegedly, of course. Seems like a threat to me. What y'all think? Drop your comments down below. Also, in the comments, how long until she reoffends? I'll go first. Should I be generous on it? 3 months. I give it 3. Y'all let me know what you think in the comments, of course. Sorry, I was walking and something caught my eye. Bright light. But seriously, bitch, I wish you motherfucking would. Drop them in the comments though. Y'all let me know. I mean, I had to look. Once again, I done got up from my desk because her ass posting stupid shit. Bitch, I wish you would.
You said he could have said no. You could have walked out that front door. You called a cab after you hacked her to death. You could have got to call that cab and left.
Ain't that the damn truth? Go Dr. Phil. He literally said if you can call a cab after you hacked your mother to death, you could have called for help. You could have called the police. But no, Gypsy wasn't interested in that. She was interested in running off with her internet boyfriend and having her fairy tale life. Not even realizing that most women, even very beautiful, intelligent, smart, banging body, very, very gorgeous women, don't even get their fairy tale. What the hell makes her think that she's entitled to that? Oh, I know. Conceit, psychological egoism, sociopathy. What Gypsy Rose wants, Gypsy Rose gets. The truth is, she hated her mother and she wanted her mother dead. Because she is that evil, she is that sinister, and she is that psychopathic. Because we know that good and decent human beings would never do that. And remember, she tried to kill her mom in the spring of 2011, again on June 14th of 2011, and she didn't even meet Nick until a year and a half later in October of 2012. The murder of her mom was certainly premeditated because she thought about it for almost 4.5 years. And she tried it 3 times in 4.5 years.
So apparently it's been kind of stressful for Gypsy to come out and tell everyone that she's the one that deleted her mother on the 9th and it wasn't Nick on the 10th. So now today her and Ken must be very, very sad and depressed. Now they're asking for letters of support sent to their P.O. box. So if you guys have any letters of support, aka non-support, anything you want, I don't know, I was thinking about sending some dog poop. This is the address you're going to want to send it to. I think my dogs are cooking up something at home to send to her. Very special. But yeah, Gypsy Rose looking for letters of support and encouragement. Probably another means to grift too. I mean, send them some gifts to their P.O. box because we know that's what we're looking for. The money is drying up. So these two have to look for new ways to scheme and scam people out of money. Make sure you use that P.O. box if you need it. You're welcome.
But I don't care. Keep making content.
Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being here with me. And let me know your thoughts, your feelings, your opinions down in the comment section. And if you liked my video, please subscribe, like, turn on notifications, and share.